Israel devastated in an attack by last year's Gaza, despite the passage of 1 year is still not the Sara Israel to continue as one door opens to the world of Egypt and blockaded welfare keep closed except for short intervals and donor countries restarted promised development with the contribution failure unable to delete the traces of destruction in the region due. At the time, the ministry about the loss of life and property caused by the severity of the attack and related institutions revealed the events also announced figures. According to the Palestinian Ministry of Health, Israel's 51-day assault last year and 578 children, 489 women, 102 had at least 2,137 people lost their lives, including the elderly. Approximately 11,000 people were wounded. Then this person has lost his life in spite of some of the interventions by kurtarılamayarak. Long life of at least 1,000 of the injured was stated to remain disabled. More than 60,000 attacks. UN Palestinian Aid Agency for Refugees UNRWA, United Nations Development Programme, UND, according to information compiled in cooperation with the Israeli army at that time, LAN, launched air and sea to Gaza 60,664 attacks. And these attacks, approximately 12,000 houses completely destroyed. A damaged 160,000 and 6,600 housing became available. 22,000 people are still homeless. UN reports, at least 300,000 people forced to flee their homes during the attack for a long time due to UNRWA schools and facilities, including 91 in various places of residence were recorded. Palestinian Ministry of Housing and Employment 22,000 people are still asylum centers, temporary housing, container, or continue their lives with relatives, he said. Schools, hospitals and places of worship have also been targeted. Israel's attack on schools, hospitals and places of worship also was hit. UN Humanitarian Affairs Coordination Center, OCHA, the 22 schools completely destroyed in these attacks, 118 were damaged. Medium and small-sized 500 facilities suffered damage during the attacks. The cost of such attacks in Gaza, about $5 billion. In a statement issued by the Palestinian Ministry of Endowments also emphasized that the targeted places of worship, attacks on 64 mosques completely destroyed, 150 partially damaged. The mosque was also transferred. Ministry of Health over the years due to the ongoing blockade of medical supplies hospitals struggling with the lack of airstrikes that targeted directly between the places, announced that hit 20 hospitals and health centers in the attack. $550 million loss in the agricultural sector, 200,000 unemployed. Because Israel is bombing by warplanes while many of farmland damaged, Ministry of Agriculture said the loss was announced as $550 million. Palestinian Workers' Union as a result of the destruction of factories and workplaces due to the limited employment opportunities had reported that about 200,000 people remain unemployed. Israel, rezoning, is interfering. Officials, although it has been over a year since the attack on the obstacles imposed on the entry of reconstruction materials, stressed that Israel's construction could not begin literally. International institutions. In October last year in Egypt, some European and Arab countries, with the participation held to Gaza to reconstruction, donor conference, total $5.4 billion of aid promised the service to be used in half of the development and a large part of it was stated that not yet been delivered. Israel launched on 7 July 2014 and 51 days after the time of the attack the ceasefire agreement between the parties on 26 August.